Hey everyone, it's Elsie here and I have a pink paisley layout for you today. So over on the blog this week, it's been in memory of week. So there's been tons of inspiration over there, so you should definitely go check out the blog if you haven't already. And yeah, I decided to make a layout based on my great grandmother. She died a couple of years ago now, and she was 102 when she died. So she lived to a really good age. And yeah, she was just the best. I feel very, very lucky to have had a great grandmother because not many people can have that. And I had her for in my life for 20 years. So yeah, I'm very lucky. And so I decided to scrap one of my favourite photos of her and I and sort of create a layout based on a few things that remind me of her. So I'm making this little cuckoo clock because she used to have in her hallway, it was like the first thing you saw when you walked into her house, was this like really old grandfather clock, and I think it had been in her family for ever. And yeah, it was just like the first thing I always saw, apart from my gran, when you walked into her house. So I thought that would be a cute thing to piece together, and I did use a bit of an artistic license with this, and created a cuckoo clock instead of like a grandfather clock, just because I found this cut file on the Silhouette store, and I have that linked in the blog post, so you can go check that out. And yeah, it was just really cute, and I thought, yeah, I'm just gonna go with that. And she also loved flowers and her garden and everything like that. Her garden was literally the most immaculate thing ever. It was like walking around like some stately home garden. And I wanted to include a load of flowers on this page, because yeah, those kind of things like remind me of her. And this layout is called like the little things, and these aren't like big sort of moments or anything that I'm kind of scrapping. It's just like it's just the little things that make the big picture. And yeah, I'll just quickly explain what I'm doing here. So that paper that I'm using is kind of like a wallpaper looking paper. I can't remember what number it is. Again, it's linked in the blog post. But it's one of the classic pages, which is has all the different like squares of pattern on it. And I love the other side of it. It's like this beautiful blue kind of ornate looking pattern, and I thought that would work really well. I love that kind of like dusty shade of blue. But then I was like really sad because I was covering up all of that pretty pattern. So I was like, oh no, I don't want to not be able to see it. So I had the idea to make it look more like wallpaper, to make it look like it was peeling. So I just ripped some like small notches into the patterns that I wanted to show, and then just folded them back and stapled them down. I don't mind the staples showing, which is why I stapled it. I kind of like that sort of extra texture. But yeah, if you do something like this, you could always glue the things down. But yeah, and then I also used some washi tape to back a couple of pieces because it didn't look quite right with the white paper underneath. So yeah, I used a mint and gold stripy washi tape because it's mint and gold stripy washi tape, and I couldn't resist it. And then those little plant pots are not from Turn the Page. They are from Fancy Free. Fancy Free was Page's first collection, if you didn't know, and it had a 12 by 12 chipboard sheet in it, and I am a sucker for anything chipboard, and I've been saving these little plant pots, and I thought these would be like the perfect layout to use them on because, as I said, my gran loved flowers and plants and all that kind of stuff, so it was perfect. And even though obviously the collections have different colour schemes, I found that they work together pretty well. They didn't really clash as much as I thought, because the washi tape is kind of a very similar green to the one in the leaves, And also in Turn the Page, you have it's like this, it's kind of like a grey brown, but it's nice. So yeah, that cut, like the colour of the bigger plant pot, worked really well. And here I ended up not using these, and I was going for like a tone on tone thing, so I could use them as leaves for the flowers that I fussy cut out, but yeah, I ended up just not using it, and then just like punching my own little leaves with my 1-inch circle punch. So yeah, now it's just a case of kind of like arranging everything, putting everything together and seeing where I want it all. Yeah, and I fussy cut loads. I think I even went into my second sheet of the paper with all the flowers on. Again, it's linked in the blog post. I can't remember what number it is. And yeah, I don't mind fussy cutting. These are really easy shapes to fussy cut, these flowers. There's nothing complicated, and yeah, they look really pretty. I love them. So I wanted something in that corner there, but I don't know, it was just, I didn't really know what. And then I found that chipboard piece in the Turn the Page chipboard pack, and thought, oh, okay, I could make that look like a frame, but then it looked a bit lonely. So then I used that Grow Where You Are Planted sort of wreath thing, chipboard piece from Fancy Free, and made that into a frame. And to do that, I just literally sort of drew like a upside down V shape, and stitched over that with some white thread to make it look like it was, you know, like a frame hanging on the wall. And yeah, I put flowers everywhere because yeah, that is just one of the main things that I think of when I think of my gran. It's just flowers everywhere. So yeah, I ended up really loving the way this looked. It's a bit of an unusual colour scheme for me, with like blues, reds, and yellows, but I really enjoyed how all this turned out. I wasn't sure about if I could make it work, but yeah, just everything kind of came together pretty easily because it just all looks good together in this collection. And yeah, especially because blues and reds in particular always remind me of kind of, I think, the British flag and royalty. You know, it's just quite regal colours, I think. And yeah, I thought that was particularly well suited to this layout because, well, of a few reasons. First off, we always used to joke that my gran was like the queen of our family because she was obviously like this very like matriarchal figure. And she also had bright white hair, and like the Queen does, and she absolutely loved the royal family. Not in terms of like, in terms of kind of being royalists and monarchy is great and all that, not like that, but just in terms of like, wasn't the Queen's hat nice last week? You know, that kind of, it was that kind of topic of conversation. And yeah, on my grand's 100th birthday, she got a birthday card from the Queen, so she was very, very happy about that. Over here, when you turn 100, you get a birthday card from the Queen. So yeah, she was very happy about that. I need to scrap that photo actually. I've got a photo of her. I made her 100th birthday cake, and she put it next to her birthday card of the Queen, so I felt very, very important and felt very honoured to be put next to the Queen in cake form. But yeah, I'm back to the layout. I'm just scattering loads of butterflies and flowers everywhere. Had a really great time fussy cutting them all. And yeah, those little boxes that I stored them all in, thank you to Essie Ruth for that tutorial on origami boxes, because it's just the best thing ever. I'll leave a link to her video down below. And that's everything. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this layout and you check out the blog for all the inspiration this week and for more close-ups and details and all of that jazz. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below and I'll get back to you. And yeah, like, subscribe, all that jazz. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.